everyone for joining us today. I'm here with the phenomenally talented Miss Cali Tucker. She is in the running with her music video for Urban Cowboy. So thank you, Cali, for being here today, first of all.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. As I was saying previously, before we started, I just think the world of your music. It's just like I've grown up listening to rock and metal and Italian music. So like country was always a little bit of a reach for me, but I think your sound is so accessible. Like it's definitely the country is there, but it's got like a lot of like sparkle, dance, uplifting to it. So, just tell us all about it. How did you like form your sound? How did you get into music? Wherever you'd like to start.
Gosh, where do I begin? There is a definite process as a songwriter and as an artist and as a performer that you go through your weird phases. And let me tell you, I love rock music. My favorite band in the entire world is Third Eye Blind. They were my favorite. I'd have to say I was definitely an emo kid in my 20s. Like we would go and listen to every rock band there was when I was living in Nashville. Like I definitely like I have so much of my music is influenced by Third Eye Blind and I had listened to Sublime growing up, Alanis Morissette, just a lot of the rock influences. But my history is country. My roots are country. I grew up in Nashville. My mom and my aunt are country music singers, and so we would go on the road with them and tour with them, and so they were huge influences on my life. But I was very rebellious, and so I wanted to I don't want to do country music. I want to do something something different that makes me have my own identity. And so, I went through phases of recording and writing different styles of music, none of which stuck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, what is my identity? Like, well, who I am as an artist? What is my brand? What is my message? What is my sound? So it was a lot of trial and error in the beginnings. And it wasn't until I moved out to Las Vegas after The Voice. I was on season 6 of The Voice, Team Blake. And I moved out here afterwards and I started performing live 6-7 days a week, and it really changed the game for me as far as like my writing skills. And then I met my producer, my co-writer PK, which is PK Gahara. PK Degadenzi is my producer. He's got a great long name, and co-writer Trisha Batani. So they really helped dial in what it was that I wanted to say and how I wanted to sound, and then I was able to reach within the depths of my soul and figure those things out and figure out my look and the message that was really important to me and the authenticity that I feel like I bring now to finally to the table as an artist. I love so many different genres of music that I never wanted to be pigeonholed, and I always wanted to go against the grain. But there was one person that inspired me since I was a little girl, and that's Shania Twain. I mean, look at what she did with country music. She changed the game. I mean, she brought this, and Dolly Parton too. That was even before Shania, but they brought this pop element in to country and made it so much easier for people like myself to come into this genre that is very protected by its fans, and I appreciate that because I grew up listening to Patsy Cline and Tammy Wynette and George Jones and Hank Williams and Hank Williams Sr. Like, I mean, we would go way back. We would sing All Around the Water Tank, if you don't know that song. Like, I mean, my roots are definitely deep in country, but I was so impressed and so excited to hear someone like Shania Twain come out and have this incredible sound with this pop, this dance, this sassiness, this cheekiness in her writing. So huge influence on me. And I know I wanted to do something similar. At least, I just wanted it to be different. I also wanted the message to be different. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of there's a lot in what I say in my music, as far as what I'm saying, that I don't feel like people are really talking about, and it's really fun to do. And so I loved writing Country Couture, and Urban Cowboy was a magical experience writing that song. I loved the idea of being able to be a storyteller in that song, particularly. Country Couture is definitely about me and like my lifestyle and who I am. Like, even though I love all this glamorous stuff, deep down I'm just plain old country girl Cali. Urban cowboy is just this idea of like this Prince Charming in this form of an urban cowboy. And there's definitely like a play on the words. We wanted urban beats. We wanted like an urban style to the song, an urban legend, urban myth, urban cowboy. So I loved the story, and I loved how it played out in the music video. And man, it was just an unreal experience getting to see the song come to life in the videos that I've done. So yeah, that's kind of it.
That's wonderful. We have a lot to dive into there. First of all, like your mom and your aunt being so influential in the realm of country music. What's that like? Is it like as you're growing up, you're like, oh, I have to, kind of fill those shoes, and that people have that expectation, so does it put like an added pressure, or is it a little bit of, well, you have that added pressure, but you also have the benefit of their insight, going through it all and finding your voice as an artist. So if you just want to delve into that a little bit.
I give them full credit for inspiring that this be the career path. And I remember being a kid, and we would travel with them. This is before we started real school, first grade, and like, so I have really, really vivid memories, even as a small child, how this influenced me. But they would bring us out on stage, and the crowd would cheer, and there'd be so much love and this energy that you would feel. I mean, it was overwhelming, especially for like a 3-4 year old. I mean, just it was wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And so I knew, I was like, this is what's up. I love this. And
you were born on the stage.
Feel joy and bring joy. Oh my gosh, what an incredible thing to do. And I love singing. Singing in general just is a very cathartic thing, I think, for any human to do. Everybody saw there's so many karaoke bars. We all love to sing. So it was everything I could have ever wanted. And I knew I wanted to push forward in that. They've always been so supportive, so encouraging. But hey, I got to find my own way. I got to figure out what it is that I'm trying to do. I simply cannot follow in their footsteps. That wasn't an option. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't, it was like, I've got to figure out my own identity, because the last thing I would ever want is people think that I ever made it based off of who I was related to. My gosh, there's nothing. When it comes to music, I mean, people can tell, like, is this real or is this fake? And I wanted to just be true grit across the board with everything I was doing. So there was a lot of like pushback on being exactly like they were, because you just can't. They're completely their own entity and their own sound. So how do I take their experiences and their knowledge and their support and their wisdom and turn it into a great career for myself, just knowing that. And the times have changed. I mean, look at the music industry now. It is not at all what it used to be like when they were, coming up. My aunt got signed at 13. My mom was signed very young as well. I mean, and it just was not the same. Social media wasn't around. I mean, there are way more expectations now for independent and up-and-coming artists to break through in order to get to the next level than there was back then. So, I find that more difficult than, because I have my own identity, I have my own sound. So I don't have to worry about that. It's just, there's a lot of other things that are required and requested of artists that are very, very challenging, more so than ever. But, we find a way, we just do it. So yeah, these times we live in music wise is very interesting, with Spotify and Amazon Music, Apple Music, and then social media in general. So those are the most challenging things, I think, as of now, but
Right.
tools if done and used right.
Yeah, no, because it's amazing. I can only imagine, like, back then, it must have been like, like you were saying, like a whole ring of people, like, managing careers for everybody. And now it's like everybody has to keep on their own Instagram and TikTok and
Yeah,
everything else. And yeah, yeah. So it's already like pulling a lot of energy, from the focus of what it always should be is the music, right?
artistry.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. Difficult. And I am so grateful. I have a wonderful team that does help and support in the areas that I fall short on. And, but yeah, it's, I perform out here in Las Vegas 6 nights a week, and it's great. I love my life out here, and I look forward to touring very soon. But there's just a lot of moving parts, and it takes a village. I don't know, I should say it takes an empire.
Yeah.
As
Where, sorry, go ahead.
no, got that.
Well, where do you perform in Vegas in case people, in Vegas want to come
Oh,
check it?
it's very simple to find out where I'm playing. If you go to calitucker.com, CALI, and click dates, it's all right there. And I keep up with that. I'm the one that puts in all the shows and the times. And so, yeah. And if anybody ever has any questions, they can always email me or message me on Instagram or Facebook. But best bet, just to go to the website and see where I'm at.
Wonderful. And also, you mentioned being on The Voice. I can only imagine, like, what's preparation like that for you, knowing all these people are watching? Do you do anything different, in your daily routine? Like, what's that like? I could imagine there's so much work, at least from, outsider perspective, before the actual show of,
Yeah.
so if you could walk us through that, I think that'd be interesting.
Well, The Voice was a great experience. I would do it again in a heartbeat. Just all the people I got to meet, all the friendships I made. It was just wonderful, wonderful. When I first heard about doing The Voice, it was my mom. I was, at the time living in Nashville. I was songwriting. I was doing songwriter showcases, nothing major and big, and I was bartending just to pay the bills, So I was doing the hustle that most people do in the beginning. And she called me and said, "Hey, your sister-in-law is going to go out to Las Vegas and audition for The Voice. I think you should go too." And I was like, "Las Vegas, let's go." So I was just gung ho to go to Vegas and have a good time. So I took my friend and we went, and I did the open cattle call audition. I was the first 10 in line, and I had gone to college for commercial entertainment. And it was really only a year program, but, and then I got my first job at Dollywood performing. And so I had a nice little foundation of what a good what it takes to have a good audition. So I had schooling on that, and it took me a minute to figure out, like, what is my audition song going to be? What am I going to blow their minds with? How am I going to get their attention? And so I was one of the first 10 in line and got in line, and we all went in at it was like 10 to 20 of us. We all sat in like a U-shaped circle in chairs, and there's one person at this desk, and we get up one by one and sing the verse and the chorus. And I sang I Put a Spell on You, and it was like a mix between the CCR version and the Nina Simone, and it just was one of my best auditions I've ever had in my life. It's all been downhill since then, but
No, no.
it was, well, it's just one of those, like, you have to be like, "Oh my gosh, that was really, did I do that?" Like, whoa.
I can imagine.
And so I got to the next round and continued the audition process, which was really fun, kind of nerve wracking and, grueling. But once I was on the show, I was nervous. I was very nervous. I'm not gonna lie, and because I hadn't performed on that kind of stage in years. So I was definitely it was challenging. I remember how I felt before I went out onto the stage, and I was like, "I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm not gonna make it." You think about something that you're gonna do something like this, and then when it actually happens, you're just like, "This isn't real. This isn't real," And but it turned out great. I got Blake turned his chair around for me. That was awesome. And then that began the process of the next round, which was battle rounds. And then you're paired with a fellow artist on that team, on your team, and you do a song together. And I got paired with a guy named Ryan White Maloney. And the song that was chosen for us was What's Love Got to Do with It from Tina Turner. And oh God, we practiced and practiced and practiced and became the best of friends. And after the show ended, we stayed close friends. And I told him how, I was like really ready for a change in my life. And so he encouraged me to move out to Las Vegas and start performing here full time. That was 10 years ago.
Wow.
And so I'm so grateful for him. And he's the one I give so much credit to for, changing my life and inviting me into this world and supporting me and just being a great friend. And I'm sad to say that he passed away last Tuesday.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm. So I would love our listeners I encourage them to go listen to his music and watch his videos. His name is Ryan White Maloney. And he was an incredible person, a great friend, an awesome father, and probably the most talented person I've ever known. And actually, he plays guitar and banjo on Urban Cowboy, the song.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oh, God bless him.
Life, yeah. He's singing for the Angels. He's playing guitar for and he played every instrument: drums, bass, banjo, mandolin. Like he was definitely a genius, and he's going to be missed big time. The whole community was shook. So I have to always speak about him in all these interviews because he was such a big part of the reason why I am as successful as I am. So, yeah, thank God for the voice.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, no, because I think what, kind of gets lost sometimes in how much pressure the entertainment industry can put on people, on performers, on artists is, our resources are each other, right? At the end of the day, platforms are built and leveled in overnight sometimes, and our cancel culture and everything else. But yeah, what you get, the love and support that you get from one another is irreplaceable.
Yeah, we've become a very tight knit community, and sometimes we don't realize how badly we do need each other, and how important it is to check on your friends and even your happy ones. So
Yes.
It's not talked about enough. How it's a really tight knit family, and The Voice was a great. I mean, it wasn't just Ryan; it was so many different people from that show that I still stay in touch with and love very deeply, and want to see them soar to the highest heights of their career because they all are really talented.
Wow. Well, that's beautiful. And again, my condolences for your loss, for your friend.
Thank you very much. I just want his music and his memory to live on.
Yeah, we'll attach a link.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Oh, that's beautiful. I want to touch on there too. The music video is just beautiful, and your mom makes an appearance in it, right?
And my niece.
And your niece. So I just, there again, great lead in, it's all about family, right? And our loved ones, bringing everybody along. Did you write it? How did you find your director? If you just want to walk us through the process, how it came to be.
So the song was written during quarantine of 2020. We were at a party the Christmas before everything went down with quarantine, and I was at it was my friend Jen's house, and we were at her pool and just hanging out. I kind of just isolated myself to the side for a minute. Just sometimes I do that. Just I need a break, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. Urban Cowboy. I was like, what does that mean? Urban Cowboy. And I started to realize I know what it means. How can I express that to Trish? And Trisha was there at the party. So I went up to her and I just grab her and I say, Urban Cowboy. And she's like, what? So finally I was like, Urban Cowboy, urban myth, urban legend, Prince Charming, urban beats. Let's go. So when everything shut down, we all had a lot of time on our hands, and we were safe. And they came over to my house, and we wrote it and recorded it right then and there. And it was one of the smoothest, easiest songs that we've ever written. It was just like, and I was like, this has got to be the mark of what I am as an artist. Like, this is the sound is what I loved the way he produced the song. I loved the melodies. I loved everything that we did in this song. And so it was after that I wrote Country Couture, and I was like, we have got it. We've got the formula now on what this is. And so really Urban Cowboy was the start of everything. And when the song was done, I mean, it wasn't until, I mean, where are we at? 2024, it was April 2024, sorry, where we finally got everything in line to do the music video. And it was the last of the three videos I'm releasing. And we shot it at my friend's ranch in Badger, California. It was 2 ranches. And by the way, it was Dustin J. Robinson, who is the director, and his company is called Quantum Arc Media, and they're based out of here in Las Vegas. And they are unreal to work with. Everybody on the team is a gem, and Dustin is he's a genius himself. I'm so proud to know him. I feel so lucky that it took me, I had to go down this major rabbit hole to even find him. Wow. You know, it wasn't just like he was the first person that popped up in the Google search. I'm like, I really had to dig to find him and find his work. And it was, man, I'm so proud, so proud. So anyways, we shot the video in 2 different ranches in Northern California, just north of Fresno. And my friend owns this ranch, and it was the old Synanon cult, owned by the old Synanon cult in the 70s.
Wow.
And very interesting piece of property, like has all these weird, dilapidated apartments that just have so much potential. But he rents out a lot of these because there's several homes on the property, so he rents out some of them for Airbnb. So if you ever want to go, it's Cody Canyon Ranch on Airbnb. Very cool place to visit. And he's literally one of my best friends. His name is Brian Cody. He's also a hairstylist and does extensions.
You seem to know the trick in life of surrounding yourself with the best people. And I think that's such a teachable skill. That people don't speak enough about. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just thought that was brilliant. And you seem to know it. You seem to know you have a talent for it. It's your talent behind your talent.
I want to promote all my friends. We all need to just help each other out. So I mean, like if I can help him and help him get some really great bookings and if people need their hair done by a great hairstyle. I mean, this is my hair, so like that I don't get to use them for that. We just have fun together. But yeah, you know, I gotta throw it out there. I'm not a name dropper. I'm just let's support each other kind of person.
Right. Community. Yes. Yeah, no, and I don't think people do that enough. So just a little credit on the side there for you. I'm sorry.
I love all the people around me very, very much. I hope they know that. But so we filmed half of the shots there at his ranch, and then about 2 hours north, we got in touch with a great guy who was one of the stunt doubles for Yellowstone, and he has a 90-acre ranch with his wife and family about 2 hours north of there, and filmed the rest of it there. A lot of the horse riding, or all the horse riding scenes, are shot in his place. It's absolutely stunning. I have never seen anything as gorgeous as that. The rolling, beautiful hills, the mountains, snow-capped mountains in the background. Like it was pure magic. And then getting to have like all of my friends dress up in these costumes and be these characters. Girl, I'm telling you, we laughed and laughed and laughed. Like it was I'm telling you, if music doesn't work out, I swear I'm going to be a music video maker for people. Like I just love the experience so much. You could
do both. You could do both.
I mean, yeah, it was the greatest experience of my life doing these videos. And it's so nice to have such a great group of friends that also want to, commit their time to it and their energy. And it was precious. I'll never forget it. Yeah, good time.
When you were conceptualizing the video, right? Was it always just a given you were going to put your mom and your niece in? Like how did that come together? The actual story, the actual video.
This one was more challenging than any of the other videos because I wanted the storyline to be very um, an easy watch, an easy read. And I was like, what care? I was thinking about the characters more than anything. That was kind of like my first, like, I've got to figure that out. And it was honestly the last thing that I figured out. And I'll get back to that. But it's my mom used to read, not, she would read stories to us from books, but my mom is brilliant. Like she would put us in bed and make up the story as she goes. I mean, it'd be like a 10-15 minute long story with like action packed, and there'd be an arc and all the characters, and then there'd be this come together at the end. I mean, there'd be tears. We'd be on the edge of our seats, and she'd be just making it up as we go. So my mom has always been a great storyteller, and I wanted to, pay tribute to that. And I always want her to be included in what I'm doing. Like, it is so important that family is involved in all this creative stuff, because why not? And I thought, oh, how cool would it be if she's reading a bedtime story to a little girl that with, so I'm a bad talker. I'm telling the story, but I wanted my mom to be like the grandmother, but also like a fairy godmother, because it plays into another video. So all the videos I wanted to kind of like have a thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
love it.
And so I was like, oh my God, the perfect person for this would be my niece, Cali Tucker. And she lives in Florida with her dad, which is my brother, Zach. And I asked them if they wouldn't mind coming out and sharing in this experience with my mom, because they're immortal in that beautiful moment that they share on the bed, where she gets to, say the magic words and transform her into this magical fairy tale land. So if it's not very clear and obvious, but she's reading the bedtime story, she's got the magic wand. And she, as soon as Adeline falls asleep, she says the magic words, and Adeline gets transformed into an older version of herself, which is me. And she's in this magical fairy tale land where she meets all of these mythical creatures that you and I know, we all know and grew up with. And they all know each other. They're all friends, but they've heard of the Urban Cowboy, but they've also never seen him either. So they want to help me try to find him. So it's a little bit of a Wizard of Oz-esque kind of friendship and camaraderie, and we get to meet these characters throughout the entire video, and they all come together and help me find the Urban Cowboy. And there's little Easter eggs in there. I don't know if you noticed my sweet Bigfoot that makes
Yeah. I love the unicorn too. The unicorn I thought was a nice touch.
Gosh, and then the Urban Cowboy himself is a fantastic actor, and gosh, I mean, the whole thing was just such a fun experience, and I hope the story does come through the way it should, but it was magic. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was blown away. Yeah,
Well,
and yeah, it was very.
when I finally figured out what the characters were, because we thought we would have like a dinosaur or a dragon, we thought about like a centaur. Like, what are mythical? How we get a mermaid in here? Like, I was thinking mythical creatures, and I'm like, no, they've got to be able to be fun and lighthearted, and that we all know we all know who these characters are. So it wasn't until I kid you not, it wasn't until like 2 months before like that I realized this was a romantic comedy.
Oh,
This wasn't a romance story. This was a romantic comedy, and it played out so well. All of the funny falls that we do. I don't know if you remember that part where we all like do a slow walk and then a fall, and there's just so much funniness to it. And really is a huge part of my life. Comedy is a big part of my life. And if you come to my shows, you'll understand. I bring a lot of comedy, and it's really off the cuff stuff, and it's just super fun. A lot of interactive. This show is very interactive. I love talking with the audience, and yeah, so comedy is a huge part of my brand.
That's beautiful. I have to come see you live one day.
Yeah,
It sounds so great. Yeah. Yeah,
same.
no, that's really, you're really, like I said, your sound is very unique. And just like, just in speaking to you, you are definitely authentic and very unique. You're not like a cookie cutter, like this is what I'm selling, here, buy it. It's really organic. It's really vibrant. So just thank you for bringing that to the world.
So I'm so honored for anyone to recognize that and say that, because that is, it's very important to be honest and be authentic and genuine to who you are. I mean, I just don't think people would listen to the music if you weren't, and they wouldn't keep coming to the shows if you weren't. So I know I'm really proud of that, and thank you so much. That means a lot. It's probably the best compliment anybody could ever give me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I can't wait to meet you in person.
Same here. Same here. Yes, please let me know when you're coming to New York. Just really quickly, I mean, it's kind of, in tandem, but like we usually get more like, of the film people on here. But as a musician, what's your advice to people coming up?
I would say coming up, stay true to who you are, and you know if it's good. You know if it's good. Like, I just feel like people cut a lot of corners, and I want everyone to know that it's very important for everyone to know that I perform 7 nights a week, and I call it my job, because it is. I'm lucky enough I get to do that. I save a lot of that money, and I used all of that money to put it back into my business, to put it back into my career. And all these videos and all this music, is self-funded. And that was really important. I got to have complete creative control, all the while being supported and influenced by these incredibly talented people who I worked with, like Justin, like Trisha, like PK. And I just encourage everybody to work as hard as you can, because it's not easy. It's not, like, it's hard. But if you love it enough and you believe in yourself enough, there's really nothing you can't do. You just gotta remember that, you gotta be smart and work with the right people to get the kind of quality that you want. And anyone starting out that's super young, like, just do your research on what it means to release a song and what it takes to get the Spotify numbers up and grow your fan base, because that is a challenging part that I'm still learning. And the industry just constantly changes and is evolving, and you never know what the next requirement is going to be. So just be happy, though. Enjoy the journey and what you're doing, and be proud of the work that you're putting out, because you start making excuses as to why it's not working, and it has nothing to do with the fact that it's probably not amazing. It's just not enough ears have heard it yet. So give yourself space and time and grace, and just try to surround yourself with really good people and supportive people, and not yes people.
Wow. Brilliant. And I think that goes for filmmakers as well, all types of artists. But yeah, no, brava. And yeah, and we'll put your Spotify in the links too as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody does go watch Urban Cowboy and Country Couture, and I look forward to releasing my third single called Last Name, also with a music video. So I'm very excited.
Brilliant. Yes, when it's out, please let me know. Email me, and we'll do another interview.
I promise.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for your time, Cali. Wonderful artist, wonderful person. God bless you.
Thank you, honey. All right. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.
toboggan, wonder bars and dungarees. Clumsy fingers chase the tadpoles in the muddy pond.